and we're down here today talking about the Roussillon. Essentially, we're kind of discussing the diversity from history and soil, grape varieties, regions, and ultimately sort of the revolution in winemaking that's happening there. We've talked a little bit about some of the styles from the dry wines to the Vin de Naturals. So discussing kind of table wines from white to red to rosé. When we spread the sort of word about the Roussillon and what's happening and how these wines work at our table, how we can sell them, and how they work in our businesses. But what you can actually see is how some of the soils actually follow these rivers that we're talking about. How the mountains each have their own soil type and how that kind of gets dragged down. So these are all of our different soil sets that we see in the Roussillon.
The distribution of Roussillon is going pretty well because there are some really great producers and they offer tremendous value, for the quality of the wine you're getting as opposed to the price. It's an area that hasn't been fully sort of explored and exploited in the market, so there are a lot of great producers that offer really good value, and the market's responding really well to that. I think in our particular portfolio, we have a pretty good representation of the area. But the wines are fantastic, and there's always more room for some of the Vin de Naturals and maybe some different iterations of the Bagnoul or Reef Salt or those type of wines.
A traditional pairing would be to have something like rich toffee, caramel, chocolate, but with the short rib that was paired with the wine, it was actually a very nice complement. The savory did very well with the root celery puree, and it kind of enhanced the slight sweetness in the red wine essence in the sauce. It doesn't necessarily need to be paired with food. It's very nice on its own. You can crack open a bottle, have a glass, and because it's fortified, you could put the cork back in it and then, go back to the wine weeks later and it still is tasting and expressing very well.
A lot of sommeliers really love the wines because they tell an interesting story, and it's not your generic Côte du Rhône, or you can find some really unique sort of old vineyards or very unique soil types that you don't find a lot of other places. So if someone has a real passion for the wines, they're able to communicate that passion, and
It's fantastic that we've had the opportunity to show 40 industry members across all levels, from distributors to on and off premise, some of the joys and some of the showing up in the Roussillon. It was fantastic to see people coming up and actually asking for refills on equally every wine that we poured across the board. And there was a diversity of style, from some more traditional to some more modern winemaking, whites to reds, and the Vin de Naturals.